I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna open the crypt.
You're gonna do it?
Yeah, I know we translated and it says it's cursed.
Yeah, the word curse is
terrible
right
fate.
there, all across the front of the sarcophagus, like 100 times.
Terrible fate befalls us all. Yeah, yada yada yada.
A downfall of society and such.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yep. Just gonna pop it open. Ha!
Ah, you have freed me.
Oh no! Ah, what terrible curse is going to befall us?
Well, wouldn't you like to know? First of all, let's see. What do all humans crave? Yes. Food and shelter. Yes, I shall destroy all food and shelter. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh no!
A house shall cost £100.
Wait,
£100.
wait, £100.
£100 for a house.
How long have you been in this sarcophagus? That's a fucking steal! Oh, that's fucking amazing, thank you!
No, a loaf of bread shall cost 10 pence.
Fuck yeah, this is amazing!
What? No. Oh, what happened? I've been in here for about 500 years.
Oh, you have missed some inflation. Thank you for that 99% discount on that house, by the way.
No!
Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Magnet-Dale.
And I'm not Jane Aerith Magnet-Dale, and welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers. It's a podcast where two queer trans ladies, we just talk about what we've been up to in the week and that sort of thing. We catch up on the media we've consumed. How you doing?
Nom nom, tasty media. How am I doing? Better.
Yay!
It's been a high pain week, so not a lot got done. Sarah, everyone.
Oh no! I have been having the busy week and I have only just come home. I was like, today will be my recovery day. It'll be my recovery day from many travels. And then, oh no, busy things happened that couldn't wait.
Oh no, we had to do a politics check.
I had
Twitter.
I had to have politicals about the BBC again, and it was not the recovery day I had hoped for. I was going to go for a nap this afternoon.
You deserve a nap. You usually
know,
have a
right?
nap before Dice Funk.
I know.
Between this and Dice
Usually
Funk.
by about now I'm having a nap before Dice Funk, and like I'm all over the place today.
I'm knuckles deep in editing. Yeah.
Well, what have you played this week?
What have I
That's
played?
usually where we start.
Honestly, not a lot. I have been playing more Vampire Survivors. I am trying to make the most OP character in the world.
How is that going?
Quite well. My death current. I'm only really trying to do it to death.
Yeah.
Because the developer said something along the lines of that the future updates will not be balanced for
Regular
these eggs that
Yeah.
you can get. So basically, do you know about the eggs?
I'm vaguely aware, but not super aware. I haven't had a lot of time for this yet.
Okay, so there is a new character in the game who is a merchant.
Yes.
Once you've unlocked them or like paid for them to appear everywhere else in the game, they will do so. And they will sell you like starting weapons. So if you want the flowers, the cart, the cherry bombs, the bone, and I think there's one other. And you can also get these golden eggs for 10,000 gold.
Cool.
So that's not just from that level. That's your like permanent gold.
Yes.
The stuff that you usually pay for upgrades.
Yeah.
With. And these golden eggs will do a small increase between 1 and 0.01, I think is the lowest.
Okay.
So, like, you might get 1 added to your maximum health, not a lot overall, but that will tick up. And you might get 0.01 added to your cooldown.
Ooh.
It's not a lot, but if you add enough of them,
Yeah.
it will start to add up. Like, I've now got so many banishes and skips with death that I can just have my pick of whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like, I can make the same build every single time if I want and have that work absolutely perfectly. And also, like, I will have potentially more shots because it'll have that duplicator upgraded. I think I'm up to like 6 as default, including the one you buy in the shop. So like I do pretty decently with most like shot-based weapons.
Yeah.
It's good for things like the guns.
Yes.
Yeah, like I finished a run today with 350,000 gold, which was enough to get me 35 more eggs.
Yeah, there is an amount of that game I still haven't played and need to make time for.
There is still a lot to do, but
Yeah.
I figured that if I'm going to make one character completely unbalanced, it might as well not be one of the like the normal type characters.
It might as well be the one that's already a bit overpowered.
Yeah, and the fact that all I am doing is getting more goals to get more things to make that one character more OP.
Yeah. You're having your one little corner of breaking the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just quickly speaking about games. Have you spoken to Kiri Magic recently about this?
I don't think so.
Kiri did a 10-hour stream, 10-hour run of Vampire Survivors. A single run. That just broke.
Okay.
Eventually the walls stopped working. You could just walk through them and find like the out of bounds tiles and textures.
That's fucking wild. That's great.
Recommendation, don't do it, but it was an interesting project.
Yeah.
And eventually like numbers stopped mattering. Like a tick over on the clock of 1 second could take anywhere between 3.5 and 4 seconds, maybe longer.
Okay.
So yeah, that was I think Kiri was trying to do the old thing of killing death, where you stand in that little position and bounce the thing around.
It brings me great joy to know that that's possible.
Just completely ruin the game.
Yeah. I like a game that is consistent enough with its rule set that you can break it to fucking hell.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really all I've played this week. What about you?
I've not played a lot this week as well. It's probably going to be a fairly light episode this week, which I think is fine considering that we're starting recording it a few hours late. I started playing a couple of the games in the Jackbox Party Pack 8, which I haven't previously tried playing.
Okay.
I played through 3 of the games. I've not played through the whole party pack. The first one I played was called Job Job. You are doing job interviews, but you are having to make answers to interview questions that you're being asked out of fragments of sentences other people wrote.
Right.
So you'll get asked straight-faced, like, an initial question that's just a warm-up that'll be something like, what's your greatest strength as an employee? And you're encouraged to write a fairly lengthy answer, and the game will, at random, take a part of what you wrote and send it to someone else. And they will now have whatever words you happened to use in that fragment of sentence, and a bit from someone else and a bit from someone else.
Right.
And it'll be a muddle of words that they will have to try and create a coherent answer to an interview question from.
Right. Okay.
That will probably have completely broken grammar and syntax because you are making do.
Glorious.
And you have to try and make a coherent answer to an interview question out of... Oh my god, I've been given what fucking Scrabble tiles here?
What am I doing with my extremely elongated nipples?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It took a second to get used to, and I think a big part of it is, like, I would encourage up front, when you're doing the bit where you're just writing answers before they get chopped and swapped around, put some creative words in to give the other person something to work with. Don't do a really bland nothing of a sentence. Like, give them something to work with. So if someone gets this, they'll have fun tools to play with.
Yes.
I think benefits it.
Yeah.
But it's a fun idea, and it's one I'd definitely play again. I played a little bit of Drawful Animate.
Okay.
You know, Drawful? Sometimes there'll be a prompt that'll be like, you'll have a prompt on your device that's like, draw this obscure thing that it's quite hard to draw. Then it'll show up on screen and everyone will come up with titles of what the thing is, and then everyone's going to guess what... Yeah. So it's that, but you're drawing 2-frame animations.
Right, okay.
You've got a bit of extra time to work with, but you are trying to create 2-frame animations, but otherwise it's Drawful.
That sounds amazing.
If you already enjoy Drawful, it's fun if chaotic. The overlay tools for seeing your first frame while you do your second are pretty alright. But much like original Drawful, there is no erasing, so you've just got to kind of go with it.
Oops.
And the last one was one called Pole Mine, which I think it's very interesting. How you play it in a room with other people. So there'll be the game will start with it'll put you into teams. So we played 2 versus 2 when we did it, and you'll all be asked to silently by yourself on your device genuinely answer some survey questions that might be of these fictional films that don't exist, which ones sound the scariest? Which would be the scariest horror film on this list? And you sort of rank your choices. And then there'll be a series of doors related to those options, and you will be having to try and pick, in the first round, it might be try and go through the top 3 rated doors. And the gimmick is you're trying to communicate with your teammate to go, what should we pick to go through, without giving too much information to the other team that's about to make a guess themselves, and trying to suss out, teammate, what do you think of my suggestion we click on this, without telling them what you voted for, and trying to, find ways to weasel out what you think the people in the room would have gone with.
Okay.
There was a good example of one that was which of these would, if you had to drink through these weird substances to get a bunch of gold, which ones would you drink? And in the group of friends I was in, I know that there's one person who really likes mayonnaise, and one of them was a garlic mayonnaise smoothie, and I was I can pretty confidently know that they voted that highly. Even if I gave it 0 points at all, will that carry it up enough that it's worth going for? Trying to vibe check the room as best you can. That was pretty fun as well.
Nice.
Yeah, they're all pretty varied. So far, if this one has the thing that a couple of the Jackbox games do, where there's a bit of a dud game that ain't great, I haven't come across it yet.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, I think there's 2 I haven't tried on there, but those 2 are pretty good. What about you? What have you played?
I've played with the new Transformers.
Yeah, you have.
Does that count?
Yeah, you played with a big robot friend.
I played with a very big robot friend.
I'm very glad you got your big robot friend. Tell us about your robot.
So, last October at MCM London ComicCon, which we will talk about more MCM later, one of the stalls was selling the Autobot Arc model for the recommended retail price.
Yes.
And I ummed and ahed about it. I think it was £10 cheaper than the recommended retail price. And I was I haven't seen it for sale anywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe. Apparently Argos now sell it.
Oh.
I found out today.
But I'm assuming for pricier than you ended up paying for it.
For the price that it was in October, funnily enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were back at MCM this weekend. You were there all weekend and I was there just for the Saturday. Same stall, had it for £100, and I was like, why are you doing this
I was there being the devil and the angel on your shoulders, both telling you to do it.
You did. And then I did it. And then just as I was about to do it, they took it off the display and moved some other things around. I was like, oh my god, they've just sold it. Okay, I just talked myself into it, but now I have to sort of get over that. And then I sort of put it on top of some boxes. It was like, okay, it's fine. Can I buy it, please?
And then you got it out the box and it is considerably bigger than you anticipated.
Yeah, so the ship, I figured the ship would be about the size the ship was.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah.
And then I hadn't really considered just how big.
Yeah, when it turned into a robot, quite how big it would be.
It's I think 21 inches tall.
Yeah.
It's a large friend.
Yeah, it dwarfs even the biggest Megazords that we've got in the living room. It's
I don't know if it. Yeah, okay, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it's a giant Warcraft style shoulder pad taller than the train Megazord.
Yeah, the Lightspeed Rescue Train Megazord. It's considerably bigger.
And I think that's the biggest one we've got.
It's definitely bigger than the big Gundams.
Yeah, and then I was like, I'll put it on top of the bookshelf, and it's like, nope, it's bashing the windy spinner thing that's up there.
Yeah.
And I can't put that anywhere else because it's dead centre and it's not going to look great. And I can't stand it on the other side and move the Millennium Falcon out of the way because that's where the daylight lamp is. So, and I don't want it bleaching.
Yeah,
so it's like, okay, well, I guess there's only one place you can stand, friend. And it's over there. And I've currently got him holding my Core Class Soundwave.
Oh, Oh, yes.
And I kind of want to try and find a core class Optimus Prime,
Please.
so I can have him have the arc playing
He's
with
doing
Transformers.
the bashing the toys together thing, but
Or maybe making them kiss. I don't know. But
it's beautiful. It is a very beautiful, ominous force in the corner.
the fact that it stands so tall, even when my desk is pulled up to full standing height, like it's still very visible.
Yup.
Yeah.
That's a good friend.
The other one is Shattered Glass Jetfire, which is I was going to say I thought I chatted about it here. I think I chatted about it with you in chat on your stream a couple of weeks ago.
I think so, yeah.
We were talking about... I sort of... So the thing... Here's a little step behind the scenes. Whenever I edit accessibility on a Monday night, I send the link to the thumbnail to be checked over by Laura.
Usually while I'm midstream.
And I go onto Twitch... just in time to usually listen to, I think I've had a thumbnail delivered. Check.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yep, that'll do. Ha ha ha, you're all going to love this, blah, blah, blah. And occasionally I'll just say, hi chat, how do?
Yeah.
I did it good. And we were talking about the fact that I had been having a look at some of the Shattered Glass Transformers. And Shattered Glass Jetfire is glorious and purple and green, which are like my favourite colour combination.
Yeah.
Jetfire is a large friend, just beefy and bulky and has more guns than anyone should ever have. Just so many guns. And
that sounds like the correct number of guns.
And again, I really like it because although it has Jetfire's normal face is like one with a mouth.
Yeah.
There is a faceplate hidden in one of the other compartments, so you can just put an entirely different head or like face on it. So that it has the faceplate in the style of Starscream, style of Soundwave and Optimus Prime that I really like.
Yay!
So it's like, yes, it's even cooler now.
Yay!
Like the most glorious piece of engineering on it. When the hand is open, like little thummy there, little handy bit. When you bend the hand shut, it pushes forward a little, like a little thing, a little socket, so that you can put the gun in the hole in the held hand.
Oh,
So it's like that works brilliantly.
yeah!
I love it. So that's a very cool, and it has a little flippy on the front, so you can flip it from Autobot to Decepticon.
Yay!
Yeah. What about you? You played some tabletop.
Yeah, there's only one other thing I really played this weekend while away with my nerd friends. We played a tabletop one-shot, one-page RPG. It's called Himbo Treasure Hunt, and it's another one by Grant Howitt, G.S. Howitt on Patreon, who makes a bunch of really neat little one-page one-shots. Recently I played through Crash Pandas, which was him.
I was going to bring Crash Pandas up because we forgot to mention it when we played it with the nerds here.
Ooh, do we want to mention it now and then we'll get to Himbo Treasure Hunt?
Since we brought it up, yeah. So you ran a game of Crash Pandas.
Yeah, so Crash Pandas is a game where you play as a trio of raccoons trying to, as a collective, pilot a car in an LA street race. Every turn, you secretly decide what you're going to do, and then everyone reveals all at once, and then multiple things will happen in the car at once.
And we played this 4-player?
Yep. You basically can set up, like, we used... What did we use for track in the end?
We used the track from Steampunk Rally Fusion.
Yes, that worked for it. So, say there's a 90-degree bend coming up, you might be like, okay... one of us probably wants to accelerate to keep building up speed, but some of us should probably be turning right. Oops, everyone hit accelerate because everyone assumed everyone else would hit turn right. You bashed into a wall and took a bunch of damage.
I thought it was quite funny because the other players were like, okay, yeah, I'm going to be like an influencer raccoon and I'm trying to get followers and stuff. I think wasn't one of like a spy or something? Oh no, a fashionista.
Yes.
That also had some sort of spying going on. We kidnapped somebody else's mother at one point.
Yep.
And there was a relationship going on there. I can't remember what the other panda was, but I was just like, I'm just a fat, food-addicted panda.
There's a Cheeto under the seat.
There was I only got in the car because there was a Cheeto under the seat. And no one quite worked it out until about the third bend, but the reason we didn't stop moving at any point is because I was pushing off the accelerator to get under the chair to try and reach the Cheeto.
Yeah. Oh, Crash Pandas is a really fun one for deliberate chaos, and it's a nice one in that, like, once you roll up what the various characters' motivations are going to be, you have other street races, and it's really easy to go, how are some of the other races related to your story? You can bullshit that quite easily.
And we just had drama in our own car because someone tried to steal the Cheeto as soon as I rescued it and I bit them.
It is a game that very much relies on you're going to be infighting and completely fucking each other over, and that's kind of the fun.
And we still won.
Yeah. So yeah, the other one I played this past weekend was Himbo Treasure Hunt.
Yes, sounds glorious.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, the term himbo is like your what's a good example of your big muscles, lovable heart of gold, drinks his respect women juice, but not too smart in the brain department kind of guy. It is
a lot of muscle, but
a lot of muscle,
a
lot of heart, very little in the brain department.
And the heart's a muscle.
Yeah. So the deal here is that you're playing as a bunch of big muscle types whose favourite gym is about to get closed down because they ran out of money and it's going to get sold and big evil mega corporation's gonna buy the gym and turn it into apartments. And you have to work together to work out how to save the gym. Thankfully, you've heard rumours that in the distant past of 1972, someone buried some treasure in the high street. And if you can find out where the treasure is, maybe you can buy the gym and save it. It is a fun game to play as a GM, in that, like, the way it works is you roll up you've got a list of, like, businesses around the city and kinds of clues to the treasure location that might be there. And then you sort of let the party go wild and pick one to start with, and off you go. Your stats are beef, teeth, and feet, for sort of brawn, charmingness, or dexterity and running around. But there's a note on here for whoever's, like, being the game master, and the note is, the way you should handle this mystery is if your players at any point make a connection and go, oh, does that mean that? They're a bunch of himbos. Tell them that's correct. Yeah, what did they draw a connection? That's right. Go with it. Run with it, GM. It very much encourages there is no set answer to the mystery up front. Let your players feel smart and like they worked something out, and you as the GM panic and go, okay, I'll make that work. Fuck, okay. Which is honestly kind of fun because your players are having fun just playing around with the big dumb voice.
Yeah.
You're going, yeah. While you're there like, okay, cool. Pagliacci's charity shop for sad clowns is relevant to this, I guess.
Yep.
I think the way I tied that in was like the previous person they'd gotten a clue from was like, go to Pagliacci's sad clown shop and ask them what happened in 1972 to make all the clowns sad. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, I tied it in and was like, the sad clowns did something unspeakable and that's why they now need a charity shop for the sad clowns.
Okay.
They did some dark shit in the 70s. What did they do?
Oh, okay.
It was a fun little mystery.
Yeah.
We had, I'm trying to remember what the characters that our group of players played as, but the one that sticks out to me is the muscular soup reviewer TikToker, whose whole thing is make videos about soup while being big muscles. Good soup. So yeah, I'm always a big fan of Grant Howitt's one-page RPGs, and Himbo Treasure Hunt did not disappoint.
Yeah.
Did you play anything else this week?
I think that's pretty much everything.
Well then, time for this. Oh hey, how you doing?
Oh,
you holding up all right?
Well, you know, there's the cost of living.
I mean, there is that.
It's getting a bit tight. It's very stressful with that.
Yeah.
You know, and the whole thing about not being able to, go and see Grandad off last year because of all the lockdowns and stuff. the way the government are slowly eroding all of our rights, and the fluctuating temperature. I mean, it was boiling hot last week, and I had to wear a blanket to bed last night, and then there's the toilet paper and the sunflower oil and the war and the politics, the lying, the cheating, the billionaires, the housing crisis, the rent's gone up again. We still don't have light in our living room. I've got moderate to severe joint pain, but holding up. Yeah. It's 2022, isn't it? You just mustn't grumble.
I mean, I think maybe you must grumble, but...
I mean, under the circumstances, I've been, I used to be on the dangerous end of depressed, and now I'm just like, oh, this again. Cup of tea.
Yeah!
I haven't got any milk or tea. We can't afford to heat the water. Gruel! Can I interest you in some gruel?
Oh, you know what? It's 2022. Why not? Right. I got the supplies. I got the supplies from the shop. There wasn't much left, but I got what I could. We can probably survive off this for I don't know, a few days, maybe a few weeks.
Okay, get the nails and start boarding up the door.
Okay, I'm boarding up the door. I should probably board up the windows too, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'll get on the windows, you get the door.
Okay. Oh, God. I don't know how we're going to survive this.
I don't know.
Oh, God, they're coming. I can hear them. I can hear them rumbling in the distance.
Yep.
No.
There's the anthem they keep playing.
They're filling the streets. I can't bear it.
They've shut the road. There's no way even cars are going to get through now.
There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide.
There's Battenberg everywhere.
The Jubilee is coming. Oh, no.
Battenberg down the hatches. So, what have you put in your eyes?
I watched a couple of things. I watched a thing today. I went to the cinema and I went and saw the Bob's Burgers movie. As I've recently been enjoying watching Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
A Bob's Burgers movie. It was an enjoyable time that I think did a better job than most would have done in terms of taking a 20-minute episode TV sitcom and making an hour and a half's worth of plot out of it.
Mm-hmm.
That is not an easy task, and I think they did a good job with it. In particular, I think the big thing this film tried to do was provide a satisfying answer to a question that a lot of fans have asked for a lot of watching the series, which is one of the characters, Louise, always wears a pink hat with big bunny ears, and everyone's always been like, sorry, the world's falling apart outside the window.
You're telling the story about the bunny ears, and no one should know.
No, I'm not going to say what it is, but yeah, for years people have been like, "Hey, what's the deal with that?" And they were like, "Hey, we're gonna talk about it in the movie." And I think they did a very good job of making something emotionally resonant out of that feels very sweet. That I'm now like, yeah, that's completely unnecessary in the sort of way where if you don't see the movie, it's not going to impact the show in any way, shape, or form. But it's really nice flavour for the characters, and I'm very happy about it.
Okay.
It's real nice. It's real good.
Mm-hmm.
Also, more of a... Not a full musical, more of a musical than I anticipated. It's a show that, like, often will have... It'll sometimes have musical numbers in episodes on rare occasions, and they tend to be really fun. Often they'll have them as, when the outro credits are happening, they'll have a song that's in some way tied to the episode happening.
Okay.
This put some of them throughout the movie, and that was a really nice touch. It was nice to have a bit of that sort of peppered throughout.
I hear they did a good job of making a longer narrative and not making it feel, stretched or...
Yeah, there's a certain degree of, there is there are big stakes plot, which is not usually the kind of thing that Bob's Burgers is about.
Stakes? This is all about burgers!
But, I think they did a good job of having, if we're going to have a thing that's big stakes, it's going to be facilitating a number of smaller stories about emotional stuff that like, even if the big event happening doesn't feel very Bob's Burgers, it facilitated a lot of Bob's Burgers storytelling going on around it. Yeah, I was impressed. It's tough to make a movie out of a 20-minute episode animated sitcom, and I think they did a pretty good job of it. I had a good time.
Nice.
Also, I was the only person in the cinema, so that was nice.
Wow.
Yeah, literally. I went for like a midday screening on a Tuesday. There was no one else in there. It was great. I got
Nice.
chill. What about you? What have you watched?
Well, we'll talk about the thing that just I watched before we get onto the other thing.
Okay.
I watched, so a while ago I got hold of all of Third Doctor Who, all of the John Pertwee stuff. You'll know how long it's taken me to get through this series because I talked about it last time I watched it on here, and I think that was probably about 6 months ago.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, so watched some more of that. Watched an interesting one about a group of people are trying to drill down through the crust of the Earth because they believe there is some sort of gas that they can use for, like, unlimited power. But also, like, some people are touching this green goo and they're turning into sort of weird blue-faced monsters. But the practical makeup effects really looks like someone just went down to the Halloween shop, got a bunch of Wolfman masks, and they're kind of just wearing those. And then there's like a whole thing about a parallel dimension where the Brigadier has an eye patch and no moustache.
Oh.
Liz is like a military scientist or something.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a very weird. That's like 9 episodes long. It's a really long story.
Okay, so it's like a big multi-thing arc.
Oh, it goes on for fucking ages. And I think one of the longest ones I've seen so far.
Yeah.
But it told quite an interesting story, and also I've got into that sort of series now where the Master has been introduced.
Yeah.
I think this is the first appearance of the Master.
Yeah.
And that first Master. Whose actor has the most amazing name? Give me a second, I need to look this up. So the original actor's full name
Right.
is Roger Caesar Marius Bernard de Gallo Torres Castillo Roberto. How fucking cool is that?
Here I thought my pre-transition name was too fucking long and convoluted.
How many names?
5.
Wow. Okay, I have 5 now. I used to have 6.
So I had a first name, middle name, and then, like, I had 3 separate surnames from parents from the various bits of divorce.
Yeah.
Like, I had stepdad's surname, mum's surname, bio-dad's surname, all in there.
Wowza.
Yeah.
That's...
It was quite the fucking mess of a name.
I mean, where did you end up on the register for that?
Confusingly is the answer.
At various points during my school life.
Depends who you were asking at the time.
Yeah, I imagine that. Because, like, one of my favourite things is sometimes even now, people will, like cut out the middle names. And it's usually quite official documents, but I'll be listed as it makes you laugh as well. They won't even put the E in there. It's just Jane A.F. Magnet Dale.
Yes, you will
Jane as fuck.
You will sometimes be Jane as fuck.
I am Jane as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I've been watching Doctor Who.
That's a spectacular name, by the way.
That is, isn't it amazing?
It's reminding me of on game stuff. I've recently been replaying Disco Elysium on stream, and my character refuses to acknowledge his actual name. He is Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's a fucking name, right?
That's a badass name.
Yeah, like, I know his actual name, but I'm like, nah, that name fucking sucks. He's Raphael Ambrosius...
Hey.
Yeah.
If that is the name he chooses to use.
Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. It's great.
It is a great name, but if it doesn't work for you...
No, it does work for him. It's like,
Okay.
he's at least in the playthrough I'm going through now, like, he's ignoring his actual legal name and going, no, I want to be Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
Oh, damn right. Yeah.
I'm like, yes, hell yes.
Do it. You don't have to be trans to change your name. You can just do it.
Exactly.
Do it. I mean, you can in the UK.
Yeah.
I know there are other places where it's way harder, but yeah. I've been watching some Doctor Who. Tell us about Clownado.
Yeah, so I watched a fucking horror film called Clownado. So this was on the quest with my nerd friends for looking for, like, bad, cheesy films to watch.
This is our follow-on to Attack of Killer Donuts.
Yes, I literally found this by searching films similar to Attack of the Killer Donuts.
Yes.
I can see why the comparison was made, but they're not one-to-one there. There are some caveats I'll make before recommending this.
Right.
It is 90 minutes, and it's quite a long 90 minutes, right? It is also much more of a blood and gore horror film.
Bit of a slasher.
It really seems like someone discovered gross out viscera on-screen effects, like the practical effects, and went,
ooh,
this is like 90% of why I want to make this film, is to really fucking get my hands in some fake guts. So the plot, which is fucking nonsense, don't go into this for the plot,
right,
is basically there is a woman in the circus who wants to leave her abusive partner. Abusive partner is fucking terrifying, like dangerous kind of fucking man who, like, the opening scene of the film is, oh, you tried to run away from the circus? Well, we'll tie you up against a wall and, like, throw knives at you while in balloon makeup, in clown makeup, ha ha ha. And she's like, I need to get the fuck away from this dangerous situation. So she's got a friend in the circus who has legitimate magical powers, apparently.
Right.
And she's like, hey, I need to get revenge on these fuckers in the circus. Can you do some dark, fucked up evil magic to get rid of these evil, terrible men? Like,
okay.
So they go and do magical thing, and something goes wrong, and I can't explain to you what the fuck happens here, but the magical spell fails, and the clowns get tornado magic.
Right.
So now they want revenge, and they have the magic of being able to turn into a tornado at any time they want on their side. And they're, we got to come for you for trying to run away. Insert beginning of horror movie setup is you have a big ensemble cast trying to survive an onslaught from magical tornado clowns.
Okay.
It's a fucking wild setup, and, like, the thing is, the reason why it feels like kind of a long film is that there's a lot of scenes that I could describe exactly the same way. People try and run away, they encounter the tornado, some people get killed off, on it continues. And, like, there is some amusing dialogue and some funny interactions along the way. A lot of the film feels like, you could have made, like, a 40-minute short film out of this, and it probably would have felt a lot better.
Right.
And, like, again, don't go into this unless you are okay with, like, some lingering in some blood and viscera. If you are okay with that, it is kind of hilarious levels of blood and viscera.
Right.
It is...
Like a Gua concert.
Yes, it is laughable amounts of, like, oh, we're just going to pretend that we cut open a torso and we're just playing around in it for a bit.
Right, okay.
Levels of stuff.
Okay.
It is a satisfyingly, like, spooky but hard to take serious horror film in some regards. There are some moments where, like, this film makes no fucking sense if you try and actually follow it for plot beats, but it is an amusing, if confusing, and at times mildly terrifying thing to watch. Wouldn't recommend it for everyone. Certainly wouldn't put it in a camp with, like, yes, if you liked Attack of the Killer Donuts, you'll like this. But it was a thing I saw. Magical tornado clowns. How do you fight clowns when they are a tornado?
How do you fight clowns when they're a tornado?
I mean, I don't feel bad spoiling this film. You find someone who's a pilot and you steal some liquid nitrogen and you try and drop the liquid nitrogen in the tornado because it needs the right balance of hot and cold to be a tornado.
Right, yeah.
So they try and drop liquid nitrogen into the center of the tornado.
Okay.
Yeah. I will say, my favourite character in this film, I think, is... He is lovable Himbo man. You look at him on first appearance, and he seems like the kind of character who's going to be, like, a really gross, like, country, bit of a misogynist. And no, he is just Himbo on a mission to genuinely save and protect women everywhere he goes. He drank his respect women juice.
Yeah.
And every time he's in a scene, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, you're great. Oh, look after those women. You're good.
Nice.
What about you? You watched anything else?
Yeah, we watched the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, same.
You can really tell that divorce was expensive, huh?
I mean, I want to believe that, like, he was shown the script and was like, okay, here's a chance for me to be the protagonist and tell a better story and maybe hate Star Wars less.
I hope
I wanna
he hates
believe.
Star Wars less. It's just that I will always remember that quote of him being like, someone asked me to sign something or other over. I was like, I fucking hate Star Wars fans. And then, like, a month after his divorce, he's like, yeah, signing up to be in the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah.
I hope it's... I mean, I like the effects are really good. I think it's... I think whatever they were doing with The Mandalorian, the effects of that LED stage, I think it really works. And you can build really interesting locations and have a lot of things. And like, I don't know how many practical sets they built for this show. I imagine a few had to be built.
The fact that I can't tell which ones aren't practical is usually a good sign.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've done a really good job. Is it a spoiler to talk about that one character that I really like? Maybe. There is a character in it who is amazing. Yes.
I think you could maybe very lightly touch on that. Skip forward like 30 seconds if you don't want to know anything.
Young Leia is amazing. That actor is just incredible.
Much more interesting than getting young Luke stuff. Such a good child actor.
Spoiler over.
Yes, spoilers over. Yeah, I've been really liking the characterization of Obi-Wan so far, in that you've got quite a leap to make to get him from where he was at the end of episode 3 to where he is at the start of episode 4 as a character, in terms of his, like, seeming apathy towards involvement in the war, and, like, the leap of, I blame myself for what happened, but also do not feel like I have it in me to risk trying to make things better. And I think this is capturing that in quite a believable way.
Yeah, I mean, he really gives the impression of being kind of broken by it all, and his reaction to certain other characters in that show, like, it's like, yeah, you're at a point where the bad guys won, and you can either live quietly and try and protect one person, or you can potentially just die, basically.
If you look at the cyclical nature of all the stuff in Star Wars, like, it reminds me a lot of what they do with Luke in Episode 7. Or the sequel trilogy in general, I think. That sort of, I fucked up and may have been responsible either for creating or for not preventing the creation of some evil that is going to cause lives to be lost. And I am reacting badly to my role in that. It is a similar story, but certainly one that focuses more on that person. Like, we didn't see that in real time with Luke so much, but, like, it feels like we're exploring a similar thing here.
But also, like, the last order he was given was look after Luke.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, that's all I have now. I look after the kids.
And, like, there's something I like about the person that was looking after Luke, and then Luke ends up being the same as the person who was looking after him in some regards. Like, there is something almost poetic to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's real interesting so far.
I'm interested to see where it goes. Fuck Disney. Fuck Disney Plus.
Fuck Disney in all regards. Do not give them your money.
Don't give them your money.
Don't give them your money.
But we are going to keep talking about their shows,
we're going to keep watching and talking about their shows. But just, don't give them your money.
Don't give them your money.
No, we wouldn't recommend it.
Nope. Well, I suppose there is one last thing. We both went to MCM. We've touched on briefly. We went to MCM ComicCon London.
Yeah, we did.
I miss October. October was great.
Yeah, so back in October, they limited the number of tickets they sold.
They enforced vaccines and masks.
They limited the number of tables they had in the hall, so everything was a bit more spread out. And it was very pleasant. And now they've undone that, and it's busy again.
Not only that, but I know they were talking for a while that Saturday was completely sold out.
Yeah.
And it fucking felt it. Like, it was difficult. Like, usually we can find a spot on the grass to sit without anyone within, say, 12 feet.
I will know, it's interesting. Inside didn't feel as busy as some past Saturdays, but outside felt busier. It felt like the full number of people came, but a bigger than usual portion hung out outside.
I don't know. Inside felt really crowded to me. Like, it was very difficult to move around without bumping into or brushing into
Maybe it's
people.
just because I didn't spend a lot of time inside, but, like, I don't remember... I remember some years where it's like, oh, the ocean of people is taking you and you have no say in the matter.
Oh, I had that a couple of times.
Okay, maybe I just wasn't inside as much.
Yeah, or I think also you'd gone in really early and then gone out and sat on the grass.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd sort of got... Because of, like, trains from my end being really bad, also the Elizabeth line is really good.
Yeah! Oh yeah, I can talk about the Elizabeth line in a minute.
Talk about the Elizabeth line. Got there on the Elizabeth line. Like, getting into the show was fine. Like, even that walk around the back wasn't as long as it felt like it had been in October. But, just, like, getting in, and then I had, like, a meander around all of the stalls that took me about an hour. And I started sort of wandering back to some of the places I'd seen before. Might have upset one of the vendors accidentally.
Yeah?
Yeah, I told you about this with the bat.
Oh, yeah.
Oops. I misread something.
I misread a price and probably offended a person behind a stall.
Yep. Apologies.
Yep. That was a very expensive bat.
It was a very expensive bat. But I think somebody would have loved that bat.
Yeah. not at that fucking price, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have struggled to pay for anything else for the rest of the month if I bought that bat. And it was only small. It's too many people.
Yeah.
It did feel like there was a greater diversity of food.
Yes.
But I guess that is just virtue of having more things crammed in there.
Yeah. I think I benefited from doing the thing that I've done for a while now, which is Friday, be inside, Sunday, be inside, Saturday, do a lot of just being outside with friends.
Yeah. And I think if I'd have been in less pain, I probably would have spent more time sitting down outside, but I was in the kind of pain that's best if I just stand up and keep moving.
Yes.
So, like, by the time we sat down, I was like, I've maybe got an hour left in me, and then I'm just going to have to try and make my way home with a giant transformer.
Yay!
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to see everyone's cosplays, as always. Some music. The stuff outside, and the people who wander around with mini speaker systems and just blast out anime theme tunes. Some beautiful art, some lovely stuff in Artist Alley. I think you picked up some pins and
I picked up some nice new enamel pins.
I nearly picked up a comic book, but by the time I went like I did, because what I try and do is do a loop, have a look around, and go, yep, I'll
go back to the
that.
things.
And I went back to that, and they didn't have any more issue ones.
Oh no. I try and do the same. I'm sorry it worked out poorly.
It's the problem of having worked Friday. I had to go Saturday.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fair, but it's nice to see all that stuff. I would prefer slightly less crowds, but I think partly this was the first one back, and a lot of people were like, "Must do the thing."
Yeah. There were a lot of overexcited, particularly a lot of overexcited teens who got into anime in the last 3 years and have never had a chance to go to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that energy going around.
It was weird, because there's Comic-Con's always got this real mix of very, very queer and lively and just fun and nice people, and then these weird fucking, boys, mostly, I'll be honest.
There's a lot of just, macho men that are just I've seen an episode of Dragon Ball once. What's this all going on?
The guy who was screaming, "Where's the Elden Ring?" Because I'm guessing there wasn't enough Elden Ring cosplay.
Yeah. I mean, go to EGX if you want video game related cosplay.
You're a comic convention friend. But yeah, it was yeah, it was as nice as it could be in that something that crowded, and hopefully none of us caught the plague.
I'm feeling all right currently.
Yay! What else? Is that everything?
Elizabeth line.
There's Elizabeth
That's the
line.
last one. I'll be real quick. The Elizabeth line, it's nice and spacious. The seats are very comfy. It's all very swish and posh.
It's very fast.
It's very fast. It makes very few stops and it goes very fast between them, which is very appreciated. Though if you're standing up, you do have to sort of brace.
Hold on, because
do hold on. You're gonna fucking zoom. There's air conditioning. It's real nice. I'm a big fan of this train.
Yeah, I can understand why, and also because it runs sort of across central, like east to west for the most part, and then down a little bit. I can understand why a lot of people are going, this has replaced the central line, because the central line is usually baking.
The central line is, do you want to make a granular journey, sort of east to west across London? Whereas the Elizabeth line is, do you want to get from the west-ish to the east-ish in about 7 stations?
Yeah.
And then total.
And then you maybe want to go all the way into Essex. Because it runs into, like, Brentwood, I think?
It doesn't make a lot of stops, but it fucking goes faster between them in a nicely air-conditioned, spread out, very pleasant train. I like this train a lot.
Yeah, then I would rather be on the Elizabeth line making, like a 2-stop and then changing onto something else.
Yes.
Than, like, do 7 stops on the fucking central line.
Yeah,
that line is painful.
Usually, to go to and from Comic-Con, I end up having to go on the Jubilee line, particularly when coming home. I often do so during like rush hour, and I'm like, being able to not do the Jubilee line and just go take the Elizabeth line was like, oh, this is fucking heaven.
It's good.
It's a good new train. I approve of this train.
Yeah, I hope it stays as nice and clean as it is for a good long while. Is that everything?
I think that's everything.
Well then.
It's time for this.
Oh, got any sponsor?
Who's our new sponsor?
Well, have you looked out the window recently?
I have, yeah.
Have you experienced temperature?
I mean, while I was in Milton Keynes the other week, like, it was so warm, so sunny. It was definitely what I would have described as summer weather.
You burnt to a crisp.
Had I not known the context around those dates. At the time, height of summer this.
Height of summer that. So you've experienced that, you'd say?
Yeah.
Well, this week's sponsor is isitsummernow.lol.net.
Oh, this is a sponsor I could have used like a week ago.
The weather's really nice. Is it going to be like this for a few months now, or are we just 2 days from the rain returning? We'll let you know whether or not. Whether or not it's actually summer, or whether it isn't.
I mean, I really could have used this recently. I thought summer was here, and then it was just fucking torrential downpour outside. It's so unpredictable.
I panicked and bought a new fan.
Yeah.
Because it was really, really hot a few nights, and I struggled to sleep, and the old fan just fucking died.
Yeah, so you bought a big new fan, and the universe went, it's not summer. Fuck off.
No. This climate gonna change. Fuck off.
It's nearly June. What do you think that is? Summer?
Technically still spring, I guess. So that's isitsummernow.lol.net. Log on there and give them none of your personal details and find out, is it summer now where I am?
Is it summer? I've clicked on it now. It's not summer.
It's not summer.
I wish it were.
It's be really nice looking all day until Jane wants to go for a walk, and then it's gonna piss down with rain consistently for the last 4 days.
That is exactly what it is, and not summer.
Inside the boardroom of Supremacy Software.
Hi. So, I've been looking through all those licenses we own.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Yes, and I was like, what haven't we really milked in a while? And I came across that Japanese company that makes the animated films with the nice, sweet messages.
Right, yeah.
That one. They got the my neighbor, what's his face? And,
the big hamster thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been thinking, we haven't used that license in a while. We used to make, we made those linear narrative games out of it. And, those were fine, but they required...
Well, I mean, linear, though.
They required a lot of work, and only you paid for the game and then you had it.
Yeah, I'm
So,
not really a fan of that anymore. I can see why it died, you know?
Exactly. So I'm thinking, what if we bring that franchise back, but we,
Right.
you know, I'm sure people will get on board with this. What if we used it to make, and hear me out,
Right.
a cryptocurrency-filled NFT MMO with play-to-win elements?
Sounds perfect. You
Right?
are a fucking genius.
Exactly. I think that will mesh so well with the themes of the narrative.
Yeah, I mean, the sweet guy with the cats that does all the drawings and thinks all these things up. Everyone loves that guy, right? But I think that is exactly his message. What if we destroyed all of nature with our planet-burning NFTs that we love so much that make us loads of money?
Yeah, exactly. What if capitalism was the end goal of everything we do? You are also a fucking genius.
Because as far as I hear, those NFT things, they can only go up and up and up.
I mean, that's what I've been hearing. I haven't looked at my portfolio recently, but I'm sure I still have money.
Monkey. You still have monkey.
Sorry, I'm sure I still have monkey.
Yeah. Well, I think we are just a couple of fucking geniuses.
I know.
So, what have you put in your ears?
I mean, other than just a lot more My Chemical Romance, again and again and again and again, because it's still stuck in my soul. God knows how many times I've listened to the Foundations of Decay at this point. The only other thing I did is I listened to the playlist that I often end up listening to at Comic-Con with the nerds. Just a sorted nerd playlist that has been put together over many years collectively by a group of people. Every time I listen to this playlist, I realise I actually kind of quite enjoy some of the songs from the High School Musical movies.
Okay.
There are some genuinely kind of catchy tracks with zero understanding of the context. I Don't Dance from High School Musical 2. Pretty fucking good track. It's pretty enjoyable. Boombayah by Blackpink. Some of the tracks from Yuri on Ice, Like You Only Live Once. Girls Like Girls by Hayley Kiyoko. Theme of King JJ, again from Yuri on Ice. A lot of just songs that are there for the meme, like Photograph by Nickelback is in that playlist. Usually gets skipped after the look at this photograph. It's like, I haven't got that far.
Yep.
Time to skip.
We got the meme out of it.
Bye 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 by NSYNC. Some of the tracks off the Persona 5 soundtrack, because that's just good. A lot of 90s singable, like, 5, 6, 7, 8 by Steps, things like that. The Crazy Frog, Axel F, which I made a discovery recently. I learned a thing this weekend.
Yes.
So you know how the Crazy Frog just has his dick out?
Yes.
Yeah? In the US, he didn't. He didn't have his dick out in the US.
There were lots of times where the dick was removed.
Yeah, so there has been a lot of fighting back and forth, and there is a new Crazy Frog single coming out, and the frog's going to have his dick in the US.
Yay!
Hooray! He got his dick back, I guess. Darude Sandstorm, of course.
It's a good track.
All-Star Smash Mouth.
It's a good track.
Yeah, right. We Let Party, brackets the Venga Bus.
Where were we recently where that dropped?
Oh! Would it have been... No.
Oh, it was MCR. It was
Oh
the DJ
God,
before
it was the
MCR.
DJ before MCR, you're right.
And the crowd went nuts and it was brilliant.
It did. So yeah, I won't go too much further in, but like, that was the kind of thing I was listening to this week. What about you?
Well, I had some travel music on. I listened to DJ Freya, who is Slambury's DJ.
Oh, yes.
His remix of the Emile theme.
Amelie.
I am Emily. I'm smart. I've never seen that movie. Amazing Horse by We Will Starve. Alien Ant Farm's version of Smooth Criminal. I don't know why that's on my phone.
Well.
Hazy Way, Evil 9 remix by Alex Dolby. Afrojack and Shapemonology, Can't Stop Me Now, The Matrix and Future Bound remix.
Oh.
Yeah, lots of good stuff there. And I don't remember. No, if you remember, I was talking about Jer's album coming out.
Oh, yes.
It's out.
Oh.
I thought it was out. Apparently the singles were out. That is available everywhere music is available, I believe. I think it's still available on vinyl. It's called Unbothered. And I think I got it on Bandcamp because it's only slightly less bad than Amazon, and I don't have a Spotify, so and I don't have Apple iTunes either. There are some it's really good ska, very upbeat, very lively. Some more political stuff.
Nice.
Some stuff about just being fucking done with certain types of people.
Yep.
And just some good stuff. And go listen to it. I need to find a lyric sheet for it to better explain some of it. But yeah, I've listened to it about 20 times now.
Yay!
And it's good. It's pay what you want from $10, so
nice.
You can get it. Or I imagine it's probably available on Spotify, where you can help towards a penny by streaming it many times.
Yeah.
What about you?
That's about everything I've listened to this week.
The only other thing I've listened to is I'm about 5 episodes into Dice Funk Season 9.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's going some places
We're on
already.
current season.
I am on current season at last. Sam seems to be fitting into the group dynamic quite well at this point.
Yeah.
It's I was wondering if Sophie is just going to use the same voice forever, because we got a lot of that sort of cat voice early on from Dio, but deciding to do all the voices is a decision, I guess.
It is quite a choice.
And Mari seems to be having fun with Femdom Bimbo, I guess.
Femdom Bimbo, yeah.
I guess that's how I describe.
I mean, that's a pretty good way of describing her.
Mari is just a treat on that.
A wonderful ball of chaos.
Yes.
Yay.
Like, I so enjoyed Slime in the last season, not just because I enjoy slime molds and fungus generally, but just Mari has the most amazing chaos energy.
Yup.
And it's just fun to listen to.
Yeah.
So Dice Funk Season 9. It's going well so far. You've only destroyed some of the new world and done something to something in a coffin.
Tee hee hee.
More to come, I guess. And then interesting also to have a series starting from level 1.
That was not the plan for the series, but that's how it happened.
But I mean, it's just something that's a bit different because
we've not done it in a little while on Dice Funk.
You haven't done it a while in Dice Funk, and also like most of the tabletop games I've played recently have been we start at level 3, we start at level 5.
Yeah.
Where we want to get like some power. We don't want to just be go and kill the rats in the basement for a couple of sessions.
I think starting at level 1 gave me some room to do some roleplay choices.
Yeah, that's been really nice with that, and just it's just nice to get that sort of vibe occasionally.
Yeah.
That's we're just starting out peoples rather than we've been at this a while.
Yeah.
And justifying all of that. So yeah, that's been fun, and I look forward to hearing more.
Yeah.
That's all I've listened to.
Well then, time for this.
Well, I think we gotta be way more careful about what we're letting the children see these days. There's a lot on that there internet. There's a lot on TV. Yeah, and they're just gonna get influenced by that. Yeah, they're gonna get influenced by. I mean, back in my day, influence. Happened to me. Yeah, I read a book once and briefly considered voting for the other party.
Oh no!
My daddy.
No.
Oh, my daddy had to give me such a talking to.
Oh no!
You suffer much in the way of influence as a child.
Oh, I watch the television and I got all these ideas about equality. Oh, it really got in my head for a minute there.
I was young. I remember I started listening to the radio, and before I knew it, I was broadcasting shortwave messages relayed to other people. I was influenced to become, in fact, a radio by virtue of that, you see.
I mean, I saw some cattle once, and I just went right into the field and started chewing grass. I was influenced.
I mean, you see the cattle just eating the grass, and then how do you stop yourself?
Exactly, they're doing it, you know.
Exactly, and then people doing that in my day, so I imagine that the children these days doing all sorts of things. I'll never forget looking out on my grandpappy's field, and there was a fence post. And I was like that. I could do that. I could be a fence post, and I sat out there holding the barbed wire up. It was fine until they switched on the electric fence. I was all up for being one of the fence posts for a while. I was influenced by what I saw around me, and I think that's why we have to be very careful about what the children see.
You old boys are just a couple of dipshits.
What?
Just because you're thick as pig shit does not mean that people these days are the same. People are educated thanks to that internet. They have access to more information than they've ever had before. And they have ways of fact-checking as well. Just because you two were so easily swayed does not mean that everyone is just like you.
Yeah.
I don't get it, just like, I think it's proper disgusting, like, in a fantasy setting, fantasy setting, right? I've always, enjoyed, me, I like sword, like shield.
Like a bit of fantasy, like castle maybe.
Love Mott and Bailey, love a Mott and Bailey castle, that's a good castle, that cracking castle, that, and then they come along and they're putting like disabled people in there, women in a castle.
Women in a castle.
I mean, it's just politics, isn't it? Just politics.
Can't put disabled people in a castle. They got stairs. What are they going to do?
What are they going to do? How are they going to get across the moat?
How are they going to get across the moat?
How are they going to... I mean, exactly. It wouldn't matter.
That's politics, isn't it?
That's just politics.
It's politics,
put politics in, and frankly, I think, they just need to stop all that nonsense.
Yeah, all that politics.
All that politics.
What other politics should they stop?
Well, the other day, right?
Yeah.
I heard someone was putting pineapple on a pizza.
Oh, that's politics.
Just politics. That
that's politics, right?
I can't. That's why they.
I disagree with that. Therefore, it's politics.
Exactly, they're putting politics on my pizza, and I just stick to making pizzas. I say. Father Jonathan, stick to making pizzas.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and then some.
I went and got on the bus the other day.
Yeah.
They expected me to pay for it.
Pay for
you to get on the bus. That's politics, right?
They call it public transport.
That's politics.
That's right load of politics, that is. Proper right old load of bloody politics, that is. You know what? I was in called in the office by my boss.
Yeah.
Right, the other day, and she went, we've had some complaints about your personal odour.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, politics.
Absolute politics, right? Total load of politics, yeah? And she said that, like, I will not be allowed back in the office next week unless, I, shower.
Well, I mean, look, if you want the height of politics, I went into work the other day.
Right. Yeah.
Took a shit on the floor.
Right.
They told me I couldn't do that. They told me I was in trouble for taking a shit on the floor. That's a load of politics. Bloody politics.
Yeah, you can't just shit on the floor.
Apparently not. You can't just sit on the floor. It's bloody politics these days.
Dumped my girlfriend because of politics, right?
Yeah.
She's like, what is that smell? I was like, I don't know what you mean. She's like, it smells like shit. And I was like, well, it's probably, you know, the shit between my cheeks because I won't touch my own bumhole.
Oh, yeah, because that's gay. That's politics.
That's politics.
That's gay and gay's politics.
I don't know about gay. You know, I don't know nothing about gays.
Well, it's politics, though.
Well, I mean, when they put them in a video game or a TV or a thing or a pride march, then that's politics.
And when I got one my arse, that's politics.
Well, exactly. It's politics. That's my that's
my arse.
It's my arse, right? It's just a normal arse. It's just normal arse. It doesn't need to be politicised. Don't need to politicise my arsehole. Or my bum crack. If there's shit in there, there's shit in there. That's just
bloody politics.
Bloody politics just bloody happens, isn't it? Anyway, I've got to pop to the doctor. Apparently, I've got nappy rash.
Oh no! Bloody politics.
Bloody politics. Load of bloody politics. I want to put some cream on it. Bloody politics.
Do you know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Brochure Justice Warriors.
Brochure Justice Warriors?
Yeah. Alright, Larry.
Right, Mary, how you doing?
Bit gassy, mate. You been up so much?
Oh, I've been, I subjected myself to reading something to do with the BBC today.
Oh, yeah, I've been avoiding them for about the last 7 months, I'll be honest.
So have I, but additionally, for about the past 7 months, I've been keeping an eye on whether or not they'll actually respond to people complaining about their anti-trans bullshit.
I thought they already had responded and they were like, nah.
Well, people kept escalating and going, no, that's not good enough.
Oh,
and,
right. Okay, yeah,
it's finally made it up to the top bit of the BBC, and this is the last time they'll respond, and we'll get to what happens after that in a second.
Right,
but yeah, so we everyone's complaints got raised up to the top of the BBC, and their ECU, their editorial complaints unit,
right,
conceded some ground, but also kind of continued to fuck up.
Right.
So here's what they acknowledge. They acknowledge that, like, that article last year that was called something like trans women are pressuring us into sex. They acknowledge that the headline was misleading, that the article wasn't really about trans women pressuring cis women into sex, that most of the examples in there weren't actually about trans women pressuring anyone into anything. Most of it was just like, I don't want to sleep with trans women, but people see trans women as women, and I feel kind of awkward about that.
Right.
That has challenged my views, and I don't like that. That's trans women's fault. There's a lot of acknowledging that, like, the survey they used was not a thing they should have used.
Right.
Acknowledging that they probably should have said that the anti-trans hate groups in there were anti-trans hate groups.
Yeah.
You know, acknowledging that they are, which is, you know, that's a little bit of progress. You know, there is some acknowledgement of some wrongdoing, but they're not actually going to fucking do anything about any of it.
No.
They changed the article headline, but if you Google it or post the link on social media, it still has the old headline.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of need to repost the whole thing so that it wouldn't do that. Yeah,
and they've not, like, you know, put in any acknowledgements of any of this wrongdoing, so you can go read the article today and it doesn't, you know, acknowledge that the anti-trans hate groups in there are anti-trans hate groups. It doesn't insert the needed context that they acknowledge needs to be in there, you know, things like this. But then it also goes further and it bloody doubles down on some of the, like, it gets worse in some of the anti-trans bullshit. They double down on the fact that they don't think that calling trans women biological males or describing them physically as male is misgendering. And they think it's okay for that to be in there because the article's author never said it. They just quoted other people doing the bigotry, so it's okay.
Right,
they also don't believe that, like, you know how the BBC in theory wouldn't run homophobia, like homophobic groups saying homophobic shit because they're like, due impartiality, we don't have to give them in theory, they're not supposed to give them a voice. They said their response for trans people was, well, there's no consensus on what's transphobic, so how can we, you know, not platform transphobes if we don't know what's transphobia?
Yeah.
Which is like, well, no, there is a consensus as to what's transphobic. Transphobes just don't want to acknowledge that. It's generally the transphobes saying, no, that's not transphobic.
It's
So, like, it's a bit of an uphill battle still, but there's a bit of ground's been conceded. It's a bit of a relief seeing some acknowledgement of a wrongdoing after this bloody long, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who ain't happy with it and are gonna raise that complaint up to Ofcom, which is the next stage up that can step in and you know, if you're not happy with that last line from the BBC, you can go, no, I think that the BBC should actually have to fucking act on the things they acknowledge they fucked up on.
Isn't Ofcom currently being isn't their director the former Daily Mail?
I mean, that is a thing. That is unfortunately a thing, but also, you know, you never know until you try, and you got to keep trying to push on this stuff. And you know, there's a few little concessions like getting this has forced the BBC to acknowledge that Get the L Out and LGB Alliance are anti-trans hate groups with prejudicial, biased views against trans people. Like, the pushing has at least forced the BBC to acknowledge that, which is like, you know, there's some victory.
That's time somebody did.
There's little victories being made, you know. And
I mean,
it's worth,
somebody outside of the people
well,
being directly affected.
You know. Yeah, it's worth still pushing, but it's, you know, it's a small victory, but the fucking battle over this ain't over.
No, sadly not. And you know, for all the talk, you know, that the average person on the street doesn't have these views.
Yeah.
The problem right now is mostly that we've got people like Boris Johnson recycling some of these lines. Recently said that Keir Starmer doesn't know what a woman is, and we know exactly what that means, even though maybe others don't. Look, concerning.
Yeah, we need to just keep pushing to get the national broadcaster on the right page, and you know, need to keep pushing for, at the very least, like a prominent apology for like the fuck ups and actual like fixing what's there to try and mitigate the damage, and we'll keep pushing till we see it.
We need to stop the all new Section 28 before it starts.
Yeah.
Hug, mate.
Oh yeah.
Good on you.
Good.
I'll go put the kettle on.
Oh, sounds lovely.
Nice. So Laura,
Yes.
book.
Book. What's that about? What are you on about? What's happening?
We are editing the third pass on a book now.
Yeah.
I've had the development edit back. We're doing another go at it.
Yeah.
Stab. There's not much. We got many praise for this.
Yeah. We got like halfway through the book before there was any points. It was great.
Yeah, but still an awful lot of praise.
Indeed. A lot less daunting, this list of things, than the last one.
Especially when if you take out all of the head pats.
Yeah.
There's way less to do.
Exactly.
So I am. We're gonna be digging into that this weekend and
Yeah.
this long weekend while we hide from the Jubilee outside. This good book. It's about the horrors of the video game industry and what it's like to go from being slightly naive about all of that stuff to being right there in the middle of it and going, oh no, video games not so wonderful perhaps.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a satire and not based on anything in reality.
Definitely.
So you can pick up our book about Supremacy Software, which you've already heard a skit about in this episode. It's unbound.com/books/whale.
Yeah.
It's called Who Wants the Whale?
Go check it out.
Yeah. What about
me?
I need a story about what that I could have used as a child.
Oh,
being a trans person.
Oh, I see.
With the monster of dysphoria.
That might have given you some words and language for what you were experiencing.
Do you know such a book?
Well, I mean, we're about 2.5 months away from the release of Me and My Dysphoria Monster. It's releasing on August 18th, 2022. Beyond that, just search Laura K. Buzz everywhere. You'll find all the things. Recently, it's either releasing now or releasing around now, a book by Joe Wells called Wired Differently. It's called Wired Differently, 13 Neurodivergent People You Should Know. It's a book that there's a little interview with me in there about having an obsessive autistic interest in a thing into a career, and it's a real. I very much enjoyed doing that interview, and I'm in there with some lovely people. it's a wild thing to be like, oh yeah, 30 neurodivergent people you should know. Here's Hannah Gadsby and Greta Thunberg on the cover, and I'm in there as one of their 30
wow,
people.
I'm now a degree of separation from Hannah Gadsby.
I guess so.
Okay.
So that's that. I was kind of excited about that.
Yeah.
So like that's out. But just search for Laura K. Buzz. You'll find all the things I do. What about you? What else do you do?
What about me? I can be found at streamerlinks.com/Janiac because I couldn't manage unified branding. I make music under the name Bedroom Programmer. I stream every Thursday night. At the moment, we are playing an awful lot of Planet Crafter because that's just been fun to really dig into and have a series running.
Yeah.
What else? We do this. This is a podcast that you can listen to in all sorts of places. It's on your YouTube, it's on my SoundCloud, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Spotify. I think that's pretty much all of my... Oh, also Redbubble. You can get t-shirts that I have designed. They are good. That's everything. So, Laura, will you sing us out, please, darling?
Until next time, be a stranger.